Hey guys. Hello guys again. Sorry, I got lost for a minute. Yeah, I hope I'm pretty much audible as well as visible. So apologies for a slight delay again. I was into something. Great. So as per our today's agenda, we'll be talking about the SQL problems again. So we were doing the lead code problems yesterday, and we finished, I think, the open questions. So as per the plan, we'll be going towards the premium questions from next week on the marathon classes. We'll be doing those. But now, for some time, we'll be doing the HackerRank actual problems, right? So in HackerRank also we have some good problem statements which generally are appearing in your coding rounds and multiple places, right? So those are equally important questions. So we're gonna see those, right? And we'll be finishing those questions from HackerRank today. And then as per the plan, we'll be going with the lead code premium questions next week onwards. Great. So I hope people are fine with the logics we have been discussing so far. And any concerns regarding any question, please do put up your question in the chat, right? So we'll try to take that. But again, guys, as I've always recommended, please try to understand the concept, right? So try to be comfortable with the logics first, okay? So do not hesitate to ask questions whenever you have any concern in the logic first, okay? So coding, I mean, the quality of coding and the pace of coding will come with time. Okay, so that is only through practice. But the logic should be clear, right? So you should be able to actually write an English version of your code, right? So that's what I'm trying to make sure that you are able to do it, right? If you're able to think about a problem, if you're able to lay out a structure, lay out a flow of a code, right? So that's going to help you. That's going to actually help you to make the things clearer, to make the things easier when you actually start writing the codes. Okay, so that's being it. So let's jump to our basic round of introduction. Right, so before we jump to the actual questions, so my name is Arpit Jain and I'm a senior data scientist myself. I have almost 9 years of industry experience. Along with that, I'm also a motivational speaker. So I take industry sessions. I talk to students regarding their jobs as well. So if anybody has any concerns regarding data science, job, or anything, so just do put up your question in the chat. So we'll take that accordingly. Also, subjects as part of our playlist, we'll be talking about Python, SQL, and data science. So Python also we have started, I think, couple of months back, where we are again solving the competitive programming questions from Lead Code and HackerRank. We are into Lead Codes right now, so we are doing the practice questions from Python. Along with that, on SQL also, we have finished the concept way back, and now we are practicing the questions. We have finished open questions from Lead Code, HackerRank. We are ongoing, and the plan is to start the premium set of questions the next week onwards. Okay, so we'll be doing the premium questions on Lead Code, and post that we'll be starting the contest if at all people will be interested in that. Okay, so data science, we have finished visualization on Seaborn. We finished NLP on NLTK. And then the plan is to start with Spacey next week. That's again a high-end API for NLP work. So we're gonna do that. Right, so that's part of our content planning for this month. So this month gonna be purely on the problem solving. Will be focusing on the problem solving both on Python and SQL. On data science, that'll be towards my natural language processing extensions like Spacey, and we might introduce Rasa like on the online chatbots. So we'll be doing that. Hey Girish, good morning. Thank you for joining in. Great. So let's go quickly finish the mandatory promotion, guys. So you have the code right in front of your screen, which is Python 10. So you know this. So if you use the code Python 10, you're gonna get a free bonus sample Relevel test paper. So what does it mean, right? So what is Relevel actually? So many times candidates do miss out on the great opportunities due to multiple reasons, and it could be like they don't have a better degree or a poor networking. So better degree, by that I mean not having a good degree from a tier A universities. Also, the resumes through which you are applying is not really standing out with the 100 other applicants, because there might be some issue in your resume, missing keywords, or which is something which is totally beyond your control, right? And also applying to a number of jobs, but still you're not getting even a single interview call. Very practical problem. Trust me, almost every other person faces this, right? But again, So to cater these issues only, Relevel has been introduced by Unacademy, which is India's first test hiring platform, which is helping you to get your dream job. Okay. So here you're purely dependent on your skills and talent, and nothing on any sort of degree or any people networking. Okay. So if you're skilled enough, if you're knowledgeable enough, you should be getting your job, right? So how does it work? It's more of a testing platform, as I said, right? So it's more of a platform where you will be actually going through an assessment, right? And in this assessment, basically, there'll be multiple rounds of assessment. So the only expectation from you would be to get the best score out of this assessment, right? So, I mean, if you're knowledgeable enough, you should be getting the best score out of it, right? So that's the only dependencies here. And depending on your score, actually, the companies will be reaching out to you. So it's more of a vice versa situation. So you have to just give the test, wait for your best result, and then the companies will start reaching out to you. Right? So that's how it works. There are certain other benefits also, guys, if you participate in the Relevel testing platform. That includes at least 50 plus companies, including the top startups and the unicorns. They have the tie-ups from Relevel. They hire directly from the Relevel platform. And these include ENY, Upgrad, Cred, Razorpay, Urban Company, and many more. So, so you can obviously look out for these companies. At least 1,000 plus open job positions right now in 3 different portfolios: business development, front end, and the back end development, right? So multiple sub roles also available within these. So you can look out for the roles depending on your area of interest. Also, now the good thing is this is completely online based, so you can take this from the comfort of your home. So you're not supposed to be physically present anywhere to be part of this test. So you can take this from the comfort of your home. And also, there's no money involved in this, right? So you can attempt this test for free. You're not supposed to pay even a single penny to attempt this test, right? It's completely free. And the only expectation from you is you have to finish the entire test in a single day. Okay, so there'll be multiple rounds, as I've said, right? So you have to finish the entire test in a single day, and that day could be of your choice. Okay, and once you have given the test, the scores will be revealed in a week's time. Okay, and since it's a assessment platform, right? So there is a qualifying score also. So you're expected to get at least 70% of mark to make your Relevel profile. But in any unfortunate situation, if you're unable to score the 70%, you can always reattempt the test. Okay, so that can happen only after 30 days of your first attempt. Okay, so you have to be watchful of that. Luckily, if you are one of the top scorers, on the other hand, in a particular category in a month, you will be awarded with some exciting goodies like MacBook, iPhone, and all that. So again, a very big plus for you guys, right? So with this Relevel, you are in a unique position to invite interest from the companies instead of you hunting for your own opportunities, right? It's more like once you have given the test, sit back and relax. The companies will start reaching out to you depending on your score once it is revealed in a week's time, right? So that's how it works. So registration is also quite easy, guys. So it's more like, again, a testing platform, right? So the link is there in the description. So once you have done that, right? So the next thing would be to choose the test of your choice, right? So like the business development, front end, and the back end development, as I've said, multiple sub roles available within these. So like the sales associate, the customer engagement associate in business development. The front end, we have Angular developer, web developer. Backend, we have backend engineer, data engineer, and all that, right? So multiple sub roles available within these, depending on your area of interest, your whatever you want to be part of. So you can always choose the test of your choice. The next would be the date. Okay, so the slots are limited, you know that. So once you figure out the time for your test, like whenever you are physically available, mentally available. So always book your slot in advance, and then once you've done that, the last thing would be to choose the fill up the demographics, where you have to fill up your full name, email ID, your birth year, state, along with your gender. So, and then again here you have option of the promo code, where you can fill up the code Python 10. So in this Python 10, you know that you will get an option to unlock a bonus sample test paper for you. So in this bonus sample test paper, you will be unlocking basically the actual questions which was being part of your which will be part of your actual examinations, right? So if you have used the code Python 10 here, so that's how it should be looking like. So you have the dashboard for your personalized login. So where you'll be having an option of practice. So that'll be open only once you have applied the code at the right place. And then you have an option of a sample paper where you can download this sample paper, right? And this will be having the replica set of questions, which you can practice before the actual examinations, right? So as simple as this, and this is anyway, there's no cost involved, right? So please do register for the platform today, right? So it's anyway free of cost, right? So I mean, if you're actively looking for a job, do try it for once. I mean, if you feel that you're not getting benefited out of it, you can always take your decisions elsewise later, right? So again, with this, we have an official Telegram channel as well. So do join this channel as a one place top for all of your queries, upcoming schedules, and all that. So you'll not be running around here and there for any of your queries. So do join this channel. So that's going to help you a lot. And with this, again, do like and share the video, guys. That's the least I can expect from you. So if you feel that you're getting benefited, do motivate us as well. So please like and share the video. So with this, we are into a content slide. So we'll be talking about the HackerRank problems today, right? So let me just quickly open up the HackerRank things for you. Cool. Meanwhile, let's take a few questions. So we have from Girish, while writing SQL queries, should I use comma to join tables or use inner join? See again, it's your perspective. To be honest, you would have seen me solving in both the ways. Okay, so when I have two, three tables, we can use it in both the ways. Okay, so like I can just call the multiple tables using the commas, and also I could use some inner join depending on the logic. Okay, so again, if you feel that in that particular problem statement you have to use a left join depending on your logical understanding of the question, right? And also if you just need the a Cartesian product, so maybe an outer join. If you need more of a selected products, right? So maybe an inner join. So depending on the requirement of the problem, right? So you can always find. So I mean, joins give you that flexibility of fine tuning your results, the number of outputs which you want, which the comma doesn't, right? So depending on the requirement, actually, so depending on the problem statement, we can look out for the right way, right? So that will only come with practice, okay? But both approaches are equally fine because see, if you just write join, right? So basically, you just do the inner join. I mean the corresponding results for your query, right? And likewise by commas, and if you specify a particular join, so that gives you more flexibility. So it's your depending on the problem statement totally, and depending on your logical understanding of the problem, Girish. So you can choose whatever. So both are equally good. What about generic SDE involving DSA? Again, depending on the requirement, totally. Yeah. So I would say it's more of I mean, company's requirement, to be honest. So your R&R should be clear. You should be talking to your responsibilities very clearly, right? So it's not about generic SD. It's all about the requirement of a specific role. So that's how I would say it as. Right. So let's quickly jump to my HackerRank website. Let me just open that. Just a minute. Where is this? Yeah. So I hope my screen is visible. So let me open HackerRank. Okay, so let me just log into HackerRank. Okay, meanwhile, anybody has any other question from whatever questions we have, problem statements we have solved till date, please do let me know the question so we can take them up accordingly. I hope things would be clearer to you, right? So we are not doing anything fancy anyway, right? So we are just following the basic course structure and then we're trying to solve the problems. Cool, so we are solving the medium level questions, right? I think we did solve up to this weather substations, right? So we solved the Euclidean distance, we solved the Manhattan distance and all that. So we did that, right? So let's start with the report. Yeah, so I think we have, 6-8 more questions, so we can quickly finish this up. So we have this question, the report. Let's open this up and let's try to solve this. So I'm gonna use the IDE as my SQL. Okay, cool. So we're gonna write our queries likewise. Okay, so let's again, as per the standard process, let's do that. So we have inputs, we have outputs, and then we have constraints, and we have flow, right? So we're gonna still follow the same structure, guys. So we're not gonna lose out on that. So let's just keep on writing the things whatever we have, so that we have everything right in front of us, so that we don't miss out on anything. Okay. So it says you are given two tables, students and grades. Okay, so students and grades. Let's just copy these. So input are students and grades. Students contains the three columns: ID, name, and marks. Okay, so I have ID, name, and marks. So this is like for my student. Okay, so this for my student table. I have this. Okay, ID, name, and marks. Cool. So ID is an integer, name is string, marks is integer. Fair enough. So integer. So it's not float. Okay. Grades containing the following data. So I have the grades table again. So okay. Okay, right. So grade may minimum marks and maximum marks. Okay, so basically the bin of my marks where I'll be defining the grade. So if the marks is between 0 to 9, that's going to be the grade 1. Okay, and then if the marks is between 10 to 19, that's going to be the grade 2. Okay, so likewise, I have to figure out the min and the max and then define the grade specifically. Okay, cool, fair enough. So Katie gives Eve a task to generate a report containing three columns. Okay, name, grade, and marks. Okay, so name, grade, and mark. Okay, so not marks, it's mark. So these small mistakes can create some issues. So name, grade, and mark gonna be the output. Okay. So Katie doesn't want the names of those students who received a grade lower than 8. So constrainted grade should be greater than 8 always. Okay, this is one constraint. We have seen that. Okay, names of those students who received a grade lower than 8. So basically I only want the students who have the grade more than 8. Okay, this is what we want, right? The report must be in descending order by grade. Okay, so descending order by grade. So order by grade and then also descending. Cool. That is the higher grades are entered first. Cool, that's fair enough. If there is more than one student, with the same grade 8 to 10 assigned, right, to them, order those particular students by their name alphabetically. Okay, okay, cool. If same grade, order by name alphabetically. This I think happens by default only. Okay. Cool. So if somehow the grades are same, right? So then in those cases, the multiple students' name will be assigned, so ordered by alphabetically. Okay, so that's again another constraint we had just saw that. Finally, if the grades is lower than 8, use null as their name. Okay, so another constraint. So finally, if the grade is lower than 8, use null as their name and list them by their grades in descending order. Okay, so this is again an interesting constraint. Okay, so this says like if grade lower than 8. Okay, so basically grade 8 को हमने publish करना है. Okay, so greater than 8 में name published रहेगा. If grade is less than 8, then use null for their name. So name replaced by null. Okay, fair enough. Oh, null. Okay, so look at this. Finally, if the grade is lower than 8, use null as their name and list them by their grades in descending order. Okay, again here, order by grade. Yeah, descending. Okay, cool. Now this is done. Now, if there is more than one student with the same grade 1 to 7 assigned to them, order those particular by their marks in descending order. Okay. Okay. Now, in this case, so here this was for this particular order by. Okay. Now, for this condition, yeah, if same grade, then order by marks in ascending order, guys. Okay, so this is important. So there are multiple constraints here. So now, so this makes the question a bit tricky, right? So always see again, if you go back to this content like through whenever you're solving the problem, right, you'll lose out on time and you'll always having a trouble to you might think of missing out any particular constraints. It's always good to write these details in front of you so that you do not miss out on any constraint, right? And as I've always said, constraints are very important for your actual submission. So even if your logic is fine, right, if you miss out any constraint, your submission will still be wrong, right? So it's not always about logic here. You have to always put up your exact constraints in place for the problem statements. Okay. So now this is fine. We have seen that by marks in ascending order. We have written that. Cool. So write a query to help Eve. ठीक है, will help her. Let's see. Inputs. ठीक है, हमारे पास ID है, name है, and marks है. So Julia, Samantha, Maria, Scarlett, Ashley, Jane. Okay, so 99. Okay, 78, 63, 81. So basically हमने क्या करना है यहाँ पे? Cool. Basically 68 चला जाएगा, 78 चला जाएगा, 63 चला जाएगा. अरे तो सब अच्छा, हाँ ठीक है. तो सबसे पहले मारिया आ गया. मारिया का नाम है, 10 ग्रेड मिलेगा बिकॉज शी इज 99 ओल्डर. देन जेन है. ओके, सो 9 में मेरे पास कौन कौन है? 88 है और 81 है, राइट. सो जेन एंड जूलिया. कूल. सो अल्फाबेटिकली मैं अरेंज करूंगा तो जे ए पहले आएगा, जे यू बाद में आएगा, राइट. सो नाउ दिस इज द रीजन व्हाई जेन इज रिटन फर्स्ट, बिकॉज ग्रेड दोनों का सेम है, 9. ओके. So now Jane first, because although marks is lesser for Jane, but it is getting sorted using the name here. Okay, remember this, guys. This is interesting. So this Jane and Julia is ordered or written here like this, and then the Scarlett, the I think 8 is the grade here, and for lesser than 8, which is these two names, Samantha and Ashley. So the names are null here. Okay, the grades are 7, 63 and 68. And here I am writing based on the marks. Okay, so it's not ES, it's marks in ascending. So in this case, I'm ordering it through marks. So 80, 63 first, and then 68. Okay, cool. This is interesting. This is interesting. Right. So Scarlett, yeah, this is the explanation also given. Cool. Let's try to code it, guys. Chalo. Any suggestions in this? Do you think that you can you have any inputs to your problem statement? Do you think you can solve it in any way? Just try put up your logic, and we'll also try to put up the flow here, right? So I hope my screen is visible to everybody. Okay, I think my screen is not visible somehow. Let me just pull this up. I hope my screen is visible now to everybody. Yeah, nobody just said that my screen was not visible. I just noticed my screen was not visible. Let me also just pull a bit of this in the back side. Okay, cool. ठीक है, चलो let's try to solve the problem. ठीक है. So flow में क्या है? As always, we're gonna write all the things. Okay, select from where क्या होता है? फिर group by, then we have order by. नहीं, group by के बाद है having, then we have order by, and then we have limit. ठीक है यार. देखो मैं क्यों लिखता हूँ इसको बार बार. The reason I write these all things for you every time is because this is how we finish your question. This is how the course structure looks like, right? So I really want you to understand this course structure. This is how the flow of my problem is. Okay, I only have these things, so all of your logical question, all the things whatever you want, right, will be coming here only. You have to just fill up the gaps now. Okay, so this is the core structure. This is the skeleton of your code. Okay, always the skeleton always remains the same. It never changes. You would have seen me solving the question every time with the same logic only, right? This is how the skeleton always looks like. So now just use whatever you want, remove whatever you don't want. Clear? Anybody has any concerns in getting and understanding this problem statement? राइट चलो. सो अभी हम करते चले जाते हैं. सेलेक्ट में मेरे को क्या चाहिए था? दे वांटेड नेम, मार्क एंड ग्रेड. नेम, ग्रेड एंड मार्क, राइट. सो बेसिकली सबसे पहले नेम चाहिए, फिर ग्रेड चाहिए, फिर मार्क चाहिए. सो आई एम राइटिंग दिस एज बेसिकली माई select statement. So this is my logical representation. Okay, I have not formulated it, so I'll just anyway I'll be writing those questions. So now from में मेरे पास क्या टेबल्स है? from में मेरे पास आई थिंक स्टूडेंट्स एंड ग्रेड्स है, राइट. सो डेफिनेटली इसका ज्वाइनिंग करना ही पड़ेगा हमें. चलो इसको ज्वाइन से ही बनाएंगे. सो स्टूडेंट्स है एंड ग्रेड्स है ना. सो अभी मैं स्टूडेंट्स एंड ग्रेड्स लिखता हूँ. तो स्टूडेंट्स को अगर मुझे ग्रेड्स के साथ ऐड करना है, सो बीच में मैंने डाल दिया ज्वाइन, राइट. अभी ग्रेड के साथ ज्वाइन कर दिया मैंने, सो इसके साथ एक ऑन स्टेटमेंट भी होगा. सो जब भी मैं ज्वाइन करूंगा तो डेफिनेटली मैं ग्रेड्स के साथ इसको ज्वाइन करूंगा। सो एक ज्वाइन का कंडीशन, मैंने स्टूडेंट्स को ज्वाइन किया ग्रेड्स के साथ, तो एक कंडीशन होगा इसके साथ। अभी यहाँ पे मैं कंडीशन लिखूंगा बेसिकली, कंडीशन टू ज्वाइन, ठीक है। आई विल फिगर दैट आउट, आई एम जस्ट स्टिल figuring out the things, okay, so I'm not doing anything fancy right now. So now in this case where, so where चलो ठीक है, we'll just keep it as it is, logic of where, है ना, we'll do that. Group by having, I don't see there's a requirement of any group by here, so we're not doing any aggregation anyway, we're just doing the filtration, right? So I think where should be fine enough, or even we'll check how to join the statements. So having and group by is not required, it's gone. Yeah, order by is required. So order by में हमें क्या क्या करना है? So order by में मुझे जहाँ तक दिख रहा था कि हमें grade पे भी order करना है और name पे भी order करना है, right? So we're gonna order by what? So we're gonna order by grade and also name and also the marks also in the third condition, right? So yeah, marks से भी करना है. So तीनों चीज़ आएंगी यहाँ पे. So अभी हम तीनों लिखते हैं. So order by पहले से पहले तो grade करूँगा मैं. So कहाँ है grade, है ना? grades है, grade है यार. Grade है ना? So order by grade है मेरे पास. So grade कहाँ गया? Order by grade है. And then we have what? So we have names and then we have what? So we have marks. Right? So this all things are important. So grade को मुझे किस में order करना है? Descending order में करना है. ठीक है? ये मैंने लिख दिया. Names को किस में करना है? Names को मैंने ascending में, by default ascending ही रहेगा. तो लिख देता हूँ ascending. ठीक है? And then marks को किस में करना है मुझे? Marks को भी ascending order में करना है. Cool? ये तीन चीजें मैंने लिख दी कि मैंने वो ये तीन चीज, अब दो है तो इसमें कॉमास भी होगा, है ना? और एट लास्ट में मैं करूंगा यहाँ पे कोलन, सॉरी कोलन, लिमिट की जरूरत नहीं है मुझे. ठीक है? So this is the core structure of my code again. So if just I have just filled up some of the gaps, right? अभी from the same code I have just filled up few of the gaps. मैंने क्या करा, select में जो मुझे चाहिए था लास्ट मैंने लिख दिया, and I have always said select को हम सबसे लास्ट में लिखेंगे because select is my print statement basically, right? So we'll add the select. Now once we have filled up the gaps, right? So now we'll try to fill up the inner details first and then the select at last. Okay? Okay, cool. So I am understanding what I'm understanding from this is our major part. Okay, so from and where. So from में select हम last में करते हैं. Select को कैसे क्या करना है, we'll see that. अभी now from के condition में we are using two tables here, right? So students and the grades. So we have two tables here. So definitely we have to join these two tables, students and join. So conditions join का मेरे पास होना चाहिए. So condition कैसे होगा guys? अब देखो इसमें हम क्या कर सकते हैं. हमने यहाँ पे क्या कंडीशन लगाना है, बेसिकली मेरे पास कंडीशन क्या क्या है और इनफैक्ट यहाँ पे भी हमें क्या करना है. पहले लेट्स जस्ट ट्राई टू फिगर आउट दोस थिंग्स. ओके, सो बेसिकली वेयर में भी मेरे पास एक लॉजिक है. सो अभी हमने क्या क्या करना है, लेट्स फिगर आउट सम स्टेप्स हियर. सो हमें क्या करना है, पहले ग्रेड्स को चेक करना है. सो बेसिकली चेक फॉर मार्क्स टू आइडेंटिफाई grades, because from the first table where we have the name of my student, I only have the marks, I don't have the grades, right? So I have to find out what is the grade, and grade is not available by default. So here, can you see this? It is not, even if you want to join this, I don't have a primary key to join here. You understanding it? So on what condition you join? So generally अगर मेरे पास ID होता, यहाँ ID होता, तो I would have joined on say ID, right? So like students को मैं S बोल देता हूँ for example, and grades को मैं G बोल देता हूँ as a table name. So I would have done say S.id is equal to G.id. I would have done that, right? So that's very simple because I have the ID column common in these two tables, but I don't have it. You're seeing it, right? I don't have any common columns here. So the only way you can connect this is basically your marks, right? So, and then here also I have multiple marks. So you have to fill out the condition. So some in this on, it's not going to be that simple on. Here you're going to write actually the entire condition to map the marks. You're getting it? अब हम कैसे करेंगे इसमें? So अभी हम क्या कर सकते हैं, देखो अगर मेरे पास यहाँ पे मार्क्स है यहाँ पे, ठीक है, और मैं बोलूँ सपोज मेरे पास यहाँ पे अगर मार्क्स फॉर स्टूडेंट टेबल में अगर मार्क्स मेरे पास अगर सपोज 75 है, राइट? तो अगर मैं बोलूं कि 75, if the 75 is in between this minimum marks or maximum marks. So suppose कहाँ पर है मेरे पास minimum marks 70 and then 79 है. So इस range में follow कर रहा है 70 और 79 के बीच में. So in this case, whether giving the equal to symbol, we can just give if the marks is in between these two ranges, 70 or 79. So that's when use the grade 8. You got it? So it's not going to be a simple equal to marks. We can rather use the symbol or an operand between, right? So we can use an operand between in this case because we don't have a direct mapping of any of the column which is a foreign key for the another table, right? So here, this is where I'm going to write the logic of mapping first. Let's do that. So how can I do that? So can I say on s dot marks, right? Between what? So I have g dot min marks and g dot max marks, right? So between g dot marks है mark है यार ये सब चीजें ना गलत करती है ये एक मिनट रुको just confirm marks है यहाँ पे mark है यहाँ पे marks है okay so I have written so g dot marks okay and s dot marks between g dot min underscore mark and g dot max underscore mark. Okay, so spellings are very tricky, guys. Okay, so do not miss out on the spelling. So that always creates some problem. So this would be my on condition. So now on this logic we can actually join the tables. Clear? Any concerns in this? Cool. So this is where I have my logical representation of my join statement. So now in this condition I have identified my join. Cool. अब इसके बाद मुझे क्या करना है? So basically on this case I have to find out the names, right? So I have to find out the names. So names भी मुझे condition है if the grade. So now while doing this I'll be having a table. So suppose this table is anything. Say suppose a view table will be created, right? So in this view table, now this is an output, right? So I have a view table here. View table as an output of this join. So अब इस view table में क्या क्या columns है मेरे पास? This view table has name, this view table has ID, name, marks, and also it has grade. Cool? And it definitely min mark और max mark भी होगा यहाँ इसके पास. So यहाँ पे min mark होगा और यहाँ पे इसके पास max mark होगा. So this all columns will be part of my this view table. So जब मैं इसको join करूँगा, this will create a view table, right? Now from this, here you can see this. So for all the marks, I also have the grade, right? अब इसमें से मुझे select करना है, right? So this is my view table. So guys, SQL is all about how you think about the problem, right? So this you do not see this output, but you have to visualize it. After doing this join, this is what your view table will look like, right? So now from this, can we just apply a case statement here? Now the condition is what? So if grade is less than 8, name null. This is the condition, right? So it's like what? Condition and action. Same pattern पर आ गया ये. This is the same pattern, right? So if some condition do the action, हमें पता है कि हम इस condition में case लगा सकते हैं, right? We can use the case statement here in this case. So case कहाँ लगता है? Case हमेशा select में लगता है, right? Let's do that. So now for the name, let's leave the grade for now. For the name specifically, we can use the case statement, right? And what can we do? So can we write it like this? Select case when my g dot grade is greater than 7. In this case, then use the name s dot name. Okay. So the first condition, if whenever the value of my grade is more than 7, I'm gonna use the actual name from the S table, which is my student table, correct? And if this is not true, here in this case I can say else null. I can do that, right? So if this is fine, use the actual name. If this is not true, use the null. So case when else null, and then end this case statement. So always when I'm starting the case, it always gets ended. So I have to specify the keyword end. And in this case, I'm gonna name it as. So what is the output needed? So it should be names or name. Output is, just a minute, guys. Name, connect the name. So end as name. Cool. So this is what I have to do. So I have the output as name. So I'm gonna name this column as name. Fair enough. This is entirely my first output, which is my name. So अभी जो first हमने जो name select किया था, I have written the case statement for finding out the exact name of my student. Cool. Name हो गया मेरे पास. A comma here. Now let's look at the grade. Grade कहाँ से है? Grade तो simple है. Grade तो direct मेरे पास available है. So g dot grade है ना? This is done. Second select is also done. Now अब क्या है मेरे पास? मार्क्स है. मार्क भी कहीं पे अवेलेबल है मेरे पास. मार्क है, मार्क्स है. सो अभी मेरे को इसको मार्क्स है एस के अंदर. सो एस डॉट मार्क्स. ओके, कूल. सो सेलेक्ट भी बन गया मेरे पास. तो सेलेक्ट में मेरे पास तीनों कॉलम जो मुझे चाहिए था, बिकॉज guys you have to think of one, you have to just look out at one thing. So whenever you do a join, right, it will return a table. It will ultimately you'll be getting a final merge table, right? So that is actually a view table. View table means temporary invisible table. So you're not seeing the output actually, but this has resulted in a table, right? So this, and what it has all these six columns, right? And from this 6 columns you are actually doing the select. So now what you're saying is, if the grade is greater than 7, use the name directly. Or if the grade, because now you have everything in the same row, right? So you have everything in the same row. So you can just compare the same row, right? So if the grade is less than 7, use the name null. So don't use the name directly, use the name as null. Okay? And I've renamed this column as name. Cool? Fair enough? So from is also done. So now we have already defined the condition here. So do we need where? We don't need where. So this is already done, right? So this is gone. This is also gone. So where we have already applied the where logic here, right? So in the case, so where is not needed anymore. So where is also gone. So now order by, right? So I think now these two parts are completely done, right? So now let's look at the order by statement. So order by में क्या है मेरे पास? Grade है, names है और marks है, right? So marks मेरे पास कहाँ से आ रहा है? सबसे पहले grade कहाँ से आ रहा है? Because this is my first important grade, right? So grade आ रहा है मेरे पास G से. So G dot grade descending सबसे पहले हो जाएगा. और names क्या है? ये name नहीं, ये name ये वाला name है, right? So this is actually this name. So I'm gonna write the name here, right? So name, because it's anyway a select statement, so I don't need any reference from the table, so I won't be writing any G dot or S dot, not needed, because it is from actual select case statement, right? So this is going to be the name as it is, name ascending, ASC, okay? And then the marks. So marks मेरे पास कहाँ से आ रहा है? Mark is again coming from S. It's going to be S dot marks. Cool. And then it's in ascending order. Cool. Fair enough. This is your code actually. Any concerns in this, guys? Are you following what I'm trying to say? So I'm going to remove all of this for now. This is not needed. Cool. Everything is sorted. Select is done. From wala part is done. And then order by is also done. Cool. This is we have the final code with us. Let's run this. Okay, so syntax error है. देखते हैं क्या syntax error है. Line 2 में syntax error है. नहीं यार, एक second, कहाँ पर है? Select line 2. You have an error in your SQL 6 for the manual response MySQL for the right and use near comma. क्या कर दिया मैंने? क्या कर दिया मैंने? अच्छा, okay. Oh my bad. This comma should not be there, right? My bad. Else null, right? End as name. Okay, my bad. So it was an unnecessary comma there, yeah. Okay, अब क्या रह रहा है? At line 2 only you have a syntax. Check the manual that corresponds. क्या हो गया? A क्या कर दिया मैंने? Line 2. I don't see an issue here. Okay. Line 7. Name. इसका कुछ इशू हो रहा है क्या? Names करता हूँ इसको. शायद name का इशू है क्या? is very strange. Not good. It is giving me okay. Okay, it is ASC. My bad. Yeah, cool. It was a spelling mistake, guys. Okay, fair enough. So this is how the code is. I hope it is pretty much clear with you, right? So any concerns in this, guys? Any concerns? Quickly, just look at the code. Yeah, Arun. Yeah, yes. Aditya, no, that was not the error. Arun, thank you so much. Yes, ascending was the error, so I made a spelling mistake there. Right. So anyone has any issues in understanding the logic? So just a thumbs up if you're able to get it, guys, please. And if you're not able to get it, just say that you're not able to get it. Any logical flow, anywhere you are not able to understand the question. It's actually a simple question only, but yeah, slightly trickier to understand how you're gonna fill up the gaps, right? Quickly, guys, just a thumbs up if you're able to understand. And if you're not able to understand, just do let me know. I'll just repeat it again, the logic. Quickly, guys, I hope I'm pretty much clear with you on all these points, right? Making sense to everyone? Cool. So let's proceed with the next question then. Chalo, theek hai. Let's do that. So we have the medium level questions. What all we have? So we just did the report one, right? So let's do this one. So top competitors. We'll do that. So we have it in MySQL, and then we have the question here. On our right. Okay. So I think looks like it has multiple tables. So somebody was asking yesterday, right? So do we have multiple tables and all that? So we'll do that. Right. So we have what? So cool. So we'll stick to our actual format. So we have inputs. We have outputs. Right. So we have constraints. Constraints. Then we have what? So we have flow. Cool. Right, so let's quickly do these questions. So Julia just finished conducting a coding contest, okay, and she needs your help assembling the leaderboard. Fair enough. Write a query to print the respective hacker ID and the name of hackers who achieved full scores for more than one challenge. Okay. I'm just gonna keep it for now. I don't know what this means, so we're gonna figure out what this is. Okay. Order your output in descending order by the total number of challenges in which the hacker earned a full score. Okay. So constraint में क्या है? Order by in descending by total number of challenges. So total number of challenges को descending order में, ठीक है? Cool. If more than one hacker received full scores in any in same number of challenges, then sort them by ascending hacker ID. Okay, again I have a sub condition here. If same number of challenges, then sort by hacker ID ascending. Okay, cool, fair enough. कोई issue नहीं है इसमें. So let's look at the data first now. So we have the following tables containing the contest data, right? So hackers. Hacker is my first table. So I have multiple tables here. Okay, so this is interesting. So I have the hackers table. The hacker ID is the ID of the hacker, and the name is the name of the hacker. Okay. So first table name is hacker. Hackers. Okay. ये small mistakes बहुत problem करती है यार. So it has hacker ID. So I'm just gonna copy paste things. Okay, so it has hacker ID and name. Okay, cool. And then I have difficulty. So this is my second table, difficulty. Okay, the difficulty level is the level of the difficulty of the challenge, and the score is the score of the challenge for the difficulty level. Okay, so I have difficulty level in this. Okay, this is my difficulty level, and then I have the score, right? So I have the hacker ID name. In hackers, in the difficulty, I have difficulty level and score. है ना? So difficulty level and score हो गया मेरे पास. Cool. Great. So difficulty level and score. इसमें तो और कुछ नहीं दिख रहा है मुझे. ठीक है. Challenges. So next table is challenges. Okay. So I have another third table which is challenges. So I'm gonna write it here. Okay. So challenges. So now in this challenges table, the challenge ID is the ID of the challenge. Okay, so challenge ID, we're gonna copy it from here. So I have challenge ID. Okay, so challenge ID of the challenge. The hacker ID is the ID of the hacker who created the challenge. Okay. Okay, fair enough. So I have the hacker ID for this challenge. Okay, fair enough. Who created this challenge? Fair enough. And difficulty level is a difficulty of the. Okay, fair enough. So this is again interesting. So I'm finding some interesting things to relate. So now you can always see this. So this table, difficulty and challenges can be joined on what? Difficulty level, right? And the hackers and the challenge can just be joined on what? Hacker ID. This is my hacker ID common, right? So now you're able to get this feeling. So how you can join this multiple tables, right? So I have some keys in column, right? So we'll see that. So challenges ho gaya, and then I have submissions, right? So I have submissions. So let's do that. So I have submissions here, right? So submissions mein I have the submission ID is the ID of the submission. Okay, so submission ID hai. Let's keep this. I have the submission ID. Hacker ID. Okay, so I have the hacker ID also here. You know, so I have the hacker ID. Or क्या मेरे पास ID of the hacker who made the submission. Okay, challenge ID and the score. Okay, interesting. So I have the challenge ID again here, and I have the score. ठीक है? Okay, sample input देख लेते हैं मेरे पास क्या है. So hacker ID में मेरे पास hacker ID है, basically ID of my hacker and the name of the hacker. Okay, cool. And difficulty level में 1, 2, 3, 4 and all that. So इस difficulty level को solve करूँगा तो 20 marks मिलेंगे. 2 second difficulty level solve करूँगा तो 30 marks मिलेंगे. So likewise, so difficulty level and the respective score. Okay. And now the challenges. So this is my challenge ID, basically my question, right? So I have, looks like a question ID to me or a challenge ID. So the hacker 77726. Who is this? 7772. Bonnie. Okay. So basically the challenge ID 4810 was created by 77726 Bonnie, and the difficulty level of this challenge is 4. Okay, fair enough. The submission ID, right? So basically, okay. So this hacker ID 77726 or Bonnie has submitted the challenge ID 36566. This one, which was created by 5580. 55 is by Rose. Okay. So Bonnie has solved a challenge which was created by Rose, and she submitted that challenge, right? And she submitted that challenge. Just a minute, guys. Some issue with the laptop. Input हो गया, HackerRank हो गया. अरे यार क्या हो रहा है इसमें? Difficulty level submissions. Yeah. So Bonnie submitted the challenge created by Rose, and she scored 30 marks in this. Okay, so the challenge ID is 36566. So 36566 देखते हैं क्या था मेरे पास. So यार क्या प्रॉब्लम है इसमें? मल्टीपल टेबल्स में ना HackerRank में ये थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम है डेटा का, ये ठीक से दिखता नहीं है इसमें. So 36566 difficulty 30 है, so difficulty level 2 होगा इसका. So 36566 okay, अरे difficulty level 7 था इसका. 7 में तो 120 है, but she only scored 130 in this. Okay, look at this. ठीक है. So she was not able to get the full score out of it. She only got 30 marks. अरे यार, ठीक है, cool. अब मेरे को इसमें से क्या करना है, आउटपुट क्या करना है. respective hacker ID and the name who achieved full score for more than one challenge. Okay. So basically, okay, now I have to compare also, right? So compare. Abhi full marks kya tha for each of my problem statements, right? And from the available full marks, how much marks the hacker has actually got, okay? And अगर किसी ने full marks score किया है, then I have to find, then I have to get that hacker in place. So basically, look at this. So hacker 86870, okay? So 86870 hacker ID कहाँ गया यार? Oh, yeah, I don't know what's the problem in this website. Okay, 86870 कहाँ है यार? ओके ये 86870 यहाँ पे दिख रहा है मुझे. ओके सो उसने चैलेंज आईडी 71055 सबमिट किया एंड दिस गाय गॉट 30. ओके सो लुक्स लाइक 30 इज द फुल मार्क्स फॉर दिस. ओके yeah, so he scored 30 for the challenge 71055 with a difficulty level of 2, and so 86870 earned a full score for this challenge. Okay, so basically I have to map the difficulty level, the available marks and the scored marks. Okay, so good, got it. Likewise, so hacker 90411 got a score of 30, difficulty level 2, full marks. Okay, full marks. So basically 90411, so only hacker 90411 managed to score a full marks more than one challenge. Okay, so we print the hacker ID and the name as 2 space separated values. Okay, 2 space separated values, ये भी interesting दिख रहा है मुझे, important है. So constant में लिख लेते हैं. So print में हमें as 2 space separated करना है, 2 space separated values. Okay, ये अगर ये नहीं करेंगे तो error आ जाएगी फिर. Okay, cool. ठीक है. सो अभी मेरे को सिर्फ 90411 चाहिए. सो बेसिकली आउटपुट मेरे को क्या चाहिए? हैकर आईडी. जो इसका आउटपुट क्या होगा मेरे पास? 90411 एंड द 2 स्पेस, एक स्पेस, देन आई हैव जो. सो दिस इज माय नेम ऑफ माय हैकर. सो जो, दिस इज व्हाट आउटपुट इज. ओके, ठीक है. ये थोड़ा सा इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन है. Anybody here with me? Aditya says, okay, hi sir, today only I saw your video and I loved it. I will be starting from lecture 1 from today. Please Aditya, do that. Thank you so much for your kind words. And any concerns, any queries, do let us know. So we'll try to take up your questions also. Cool. Great. So where we are? So we are in this question. So 90411 flow. Okay, so let's look at the flow. Again, I'm gonna use the same concept, guys. Okay, so again, as I'm still saying, it does not really matter if you have 1 table, 10 table, 100 table. The logic always still remains the same. Everything, the code still is the same. You have to just fill up the gaps according to your question. Okay, so we're gonna still use the same flow. So do not get confused if you have multiple tables and all that. So select from where. And then what I have? So I have group by, and I have having, I have order by, then I have limit. Okay, so now let's try to fill up the things. Okay, let's try to fill up the things. So output में मुझे क्या चाहिए? Select में मुझे क्या चाहिए? Select में मुझे सिर्फ hacker ID और name चाहिए. So I'm just writing the hacker ID and name. Okay, I'm just written the logical representation. I have not written the exact code, so we'll figure out how to get the exact hacker ID in the name. So I've just written this. Okay, hacker ID and name. So this is done. From may I have now multiple tables, right? So I have tables like hackers. I have tables like what challenges, difficulties, submissions. So multiple tables है मेरे पास, right? So how we can find out कि which table to get from? अभी देखो, अभी हम पहले चारों टेबल का नाम लिख लेते हैं यहाँ पे. So from hackers, from difficulty, from challenges, and then from submissions. Cool. चलो अब हम इसमें देखो क्या. अब now look at the flow. Now see again, the objective is to anyway join these all tables, right? So definitely इस tables को तो join करना ही करना है. But कैसे join कर सकते हो? Now just be little smart about it. क्या आप just look at this question. So can you join hackers and difficulty table? You cannot join this because you do not have anything in common. You just have hacker ID and name here, and you have difficulty level and score. So you cannot join hackers and the difficulty table directly. Anybody has any concern with this? You cannot join the hacker table and the difficulty table because that is not possible. You do not have anything in common there, right? You just have the hacker ID and the name in hackers and have the difficulty level and the score in difficulty, okay? So इसमें दिमाग लगाना ही नहीं है, ये नहीं करना हमें, ये हम कर ही नहीं सकते, it's not possible, right? You cannot just join this. अब नेक्स्ट क्या है हमारे पास? सो हैकर्स को आप किसके साथ ज्वाइन कर सकते हो? हैकर्स को आप सबमिशन के साथ ज्वाइन कर सकते हो बिकॉज यू हैव हैकर आईडी हियर. हैकर्स को आप चैलेंजेस के साथ ज्वाइन कर सकते हो, यू हैव द हैकर आईडी अगेन हियर, राइट? सो देखो अगेन ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है, हमें कंपेयर करना है द मार्क्स विच हैज बीन स्कोर्ड. सो मार्क्स कहां पर आएगा आपके पास? सबमिशन के पास स्कोर आएगा यहाँ पे, राइट? सो दिस इज द स्कोर, राइट? सो बेसिकली अगर मैं हैकर आईडी एंड सबमिशन को ज्वाइन कर दूंगा, सो मेरे पास against each of the name and the hacker ID which is already common here with the name along with the hacker, I'll be getting the score, right? So basically इस join के बाद मेरे पास submission table में name add हो जाएगा. So I don't have name here, right? So I'll be having the name against each of my submissions. Clear हो रहा है इसमें? सिर्फ अगर मैं hacker ID पे join कर दूंगा इसको, तो मेरे पास इसमें name के साथ आपके पास proper name के साथ score आ जाएगा. Correct? इसमें किसी को कोई problem नहीं है. नाउ ऑन दिस, ये मेरे पास सबमिशन आ गया, राइट? अब मेरे को क्या करना है, डिफिकल्टी लेवल भी तो पता करनी थी. डिफिकल्टी लेवल से तो हमें स्कोर पता चलेगा ना. सो अब अगेन हम अगर इस दोनों ज्वाइन टेबल को, हैकर्स एंड सबमिशंस को, इफ वी ज्वाइन इट ऑन चैलेंजेस, सो बेसिकली द फर्स्ट ज्वाइनिंग इज ऑन हैकर्स एंड सबमिशन, and then this join table will be again further joining on challenges. So again in this case I have the hacker ID in common, or also we have the challenge ID also in common, right? So we have the, let's use the challenge ID in this case because the challenge ID is the primary key here, right? So it will be done on the challenge ID basically. So challenge ID में मेरे पास अगर मैं इसको ऐड करूंगा, so I'll have the difficulty level also. So अब इस स्टेटमेंट में बस सबमिशन आईडी हो गया, हैकर आईडी हो गया, चैलेंज आईडी हो गया, स्कोर हो गया. फर्स्ट ज्वाइन के बाद नेम ऐड हो जाएगा, यहाँ पे नेम ऐड हो जाएगा, एंड सेकंड ज्वाइन के बाद डिफिकल्टी लेवल भी ऐड हो जाएगा. यहाँ पे समझ में आ रहा है? अब इन सब टेबल पे मैं फाइनल ज्वाइन करूंगा, अगर डिफिकल्टी पे, तो मेरे पास ये स्कोर आ जाएगा यहाँ पे, दिस स्कोर. सो दिस स्कोर इज द एक्चुअल डिफिकल्टी लेवल का स्कोर एंड दिस स्कोर इज द अटेन्ड स्कोर. गॉट इट? किसी को कोई डाउट हो रहा है इसमें? एनीबडी हैज एनी कंसर्न्स इन दिस? सो आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू फिगर आउट द वे हाउ कैन आई ज्वाइन द टेबल्स. सो ये मैं फ्लो, आई मीन जस्ट द ऑर्डर ऑफ माई ज्वाइनिंग में फिगर आउट कर रहा हूं. ठीक है, अब मैं यहां पे करता हूं. सो ये ऑर्डर ठीक नहीं है. सो आई विल फर्स्ट ज्वाइनिंग हैकर्स विद सबमिशंस एंड देन आई विल बी ज्वाइनिंग दिस होल ज्वाइन टेबल विद चैलेंजेस एंड देन दिस होल टेबल ज्वाइन टेबल विद डिफिकल्टी. दिस इज द ऑर्डर विच आई एम गोइंग टू फॉलो. इस ऑर्डर में किसी को कोई प्रॉब्लम है? सी अगेन इसमें कोई कोडिंग इन्वॉल्व नहीं है. अभी मैं सिर्फ फ्लो डिटरमाइन कर रहा हूं. जस्ट ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड, बिल्ड अ लॉजिकल कनेक्शन बिटवीन माय टेबल्स, राइट? मैंने कोई भी कोडिंग लिखा अभी तक नहीं लिखा ना. सो डू नॉट गेट कंफ्यूज बाय द कोडिंग गाइस. इट्स जस्ट हाइप्ड वर्ड, ओके? So the only thing is you have to understand what exactly you want, right? So what is a logical understanding of a problem statement? Just a minute, please. Just a minute. Guys, am I audible? Guys, if I'm audible, just to put up a chat. I think I lost internet connectivity for a minute. Yeah, okay. Okay, so Girish has something to say. Submissions, challenges, difficulty, hackers के order में भी तो join कर सकते हैं. हाँ कर सकते हैं, बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं. Difficulty, challenges, difficulty, हाँ कर सकते हैं, बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं. That is also fine. Again, see again, it's your logical understanding of your problem to solve. Ultimate objective क्या है? You are joining these 4 tables जहाँ पे सारे columns आ जाने चाहिए. That is objective, right? आप submissions के challenges को भी join कर सकते हो. That's totally possible. And then difficulty and then hackers, totally possible. You can still do that. Yeah. You can do that. That is also fine, Girish. Ayush Kesari, I'm not sure if when you joined it, but yes, I think we are almost, we're doing the second question, so we already finished the first question. Cool, चलो, let's start solving, ठीक है? So, अभी मेरे पास from का statement हो गया, चलो, and then हमारे पास क्या है? Will join, अभी हमने figure out किया, so इसको कैसे कैसे join करना होगा? So, अभी hackers को basically मेरे को join करना है submission के साथ, so basically यहाँ पे एक join होगा, and then इस दोनों के बीच में on होगा, ठीक है? एंड देन दिस टेबल will be, so I have this final table again. So this will be again joining on challenges on condition. This will be again joining on difficulty on some condition. Okay, so just a basic code मैंने लिखा है यहाँ पे, ठीक है, इसमें किसी को कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. अब वेयर कंडीशन क्या है? अब वेयर कंडीशन बेसिकली मेरा यहाँ पे आएगा फिल्टर. सो फिल्टर कंडीशन. तो फिल्टर कंडीशन क्या है मेरे पास? एक तो स्कोर का फिल्टर कंडीशन है, डिफिकल्टी लेवल का कंडीशन है. सो बेसिकली मेरे पास स्कोर क्या है? सो स्कोर फ्रॉम दो टेबल्स है ना मेरे पास जहां पे स्कोर था, डिफिकल्टी टेबल एंड सबमिशन टेबल. सो इन दोनों के स्कोर मैच होने चाहिए, करेक्ट? then बोलो this is the maximum score attained. So score from difficulty table and difficulty and submission should match. Cool. This is the first condition. And second condition क्या है मेरे पास? difficulty level भी तो मैच होना चाहिए. अगर मैं 30 कर दूं और 30 दूसरे लेवल का होगा, अगर सपोज आई एम गेटिंग 30 and the difficulty level अगर 7 है उसका 120 है, so again I'm getting 30 out of this, so I have to match the difficulty level also, right? You getting my point, right? So same difficulty level भी तो match करना होगा मुझे. So difficulty level also should be matched from these two tables. So ये दो मेरा where का condition है. This is what I'm thinking of right now. And then I have what? So for each of my, so what the question says, so respective hacker ID में more than one challenge. So basically group by तो है ही है इसमें, right? So basically what I'm saying that for each of my hacker IDs and the respective names, I want how many have exactly more than one number of challenges to be given, right? So basically here I'm doing a group by on hacker ID and name, right? So I'm doing the group by on my each of these levels, so hacker ID and the names. And the condition is having where the count. So now, okay, so now the thing is, now look at this question. I have to find out if a particular hacker has attained those maximum marks out of each of the difficulty questions more than once, right? So basically there's again a condition, a filter condition where the number of submissions is more than one, basically, right? So more than one, or maybe so basically the count of those submission is more than one, basically, right? So here so that will come in the under having, right? So because it's after my group by clause, it's not before my group by clause. So after, once you have done a group by, like aggregation on a particular column, then I'm going to have a condition where the count of this submission is more than one. So basically count of my say submissions, basically. So I'm just writing a submissions here, so we'll replace this with the actual code. Submissions is greater than one. So that is my logic here, right? Anybody has any concerns, do let me know, please. है ना? So now having का काम हो गया, and then order by, order by भी कुछ था हमारे पास, I remember it. So we have order by total number of challenges and sort by hacker ID. राइट, सो हैकर आईडी से भी करना है एंड मेरे को टोटल नंबर ऑफ चैलेंजेस से भी करना है. सो बेसिकली हियर अगर मैं करूं काउंट ऑर्डर बाय काउंट अगेन, सो काउंट ऑफ सेम थिंग डालता हूँ, जो यहाँ पर लिखूंगा वो सेम यहाँ पे लिखूंगा, काउंट ऑफ सबमिशंस. सो काउंट ऑफ सबमिशंस को मेरे को डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर में करना था, डिसेंडिंग. एंड ऑल्सो आई वांट द हैकर आईडी था ना, क्या था ये, हैकर आईडी था ना यहाँ पे, कहाँ गया, हाँ ओके. सो हैकर आईडी करना है असेंडिंग ऑर्डर में. सो मेरे पास यहाँ पर आ गया हैकर आईडी कहाँ है, हैकर आईडी. सो हैकर आईडी ये असेंडिंग ऑर्डर में. कूल, लिमिट की जरूरत नहीं है मुझे. सो नाउ दिस इज द कोर स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ माय कोड गाइस. आई होप यू आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड द लॉजिक हियर, राइट? सो this is my core structure. Select, I'll do this in the last now. So we'll try to first figure out this joining part. So we'll just sort this from statement first, okay? So I have multiple tables, multiple joins. Let's do that. So सबसे पहले मेरे पास क्या है, hackers है, and then we are joining with the submission. So always easier to write the aliases. So I'm writing hackers as H, submissions as S, challenges as C, difficulty as D. Okay, so now this is going to be called as the smaller version of their tables, right? So if I'm going to join hackers H on submissions S, right? So see again, look at this question, guys. So again, we can also write join, but there is a possibility that they'll be having multiple results post my query, right? So because there might be a condition that the same submissions can be given by two different hackers, right? So it's always good. It's always, I think in this scenario, instead of using a join, let's use an inner join, right? So let's have an inner join between H and submission. So we can only find out the values where these hacker IDs are being matched. Only use those records, okay? So on condition क्या है? Basically hacker ID था मेरे पास यहाँ पे. So I have the hacker ID. So on is going to be H dot hacker ID equal to S dot hacker ID. ये मेरा first join हो गया. Any issues in this, guys? Do let me know this. Inner join मैंने इसलिए करा है because just as a safer side to not use any Cartesian product of my joining. So I'm going to use only where the hackers and the submission are being matched. So I only want those records. Okay, so just as on a safer side, I'm using an inner join here. Okay, so from hackers H, inner join submission S on hacker ID dot S hacker ID. This is done, right? So now this will return me again a new table, right? So a view table. So this join, this after this joining, I'll be having one table here, right? So this one table will be getting joined with challenges C, right? So now on this case, challenges, what we're going to do again, we can still do here the same thing. Inner join is still fine. So inner join on this, challenges C on this. And then what is my logic here? So basically on what? So basically we can say that on S dot, I have the challenge ID here, right? So I have S dot challenge ID, right? So S dot, कहाँ गया ये है on S dot challenge ID is equal to C dot challenge ID. Any issues in this? कोई problem नहीं है. And now again I'm gonna join this entire table. So this is my again another new table, right? Now this entire table will be getting joined with difficulty D, right? So again the same logic, we're gonna use the inner join again here. Inner join difficulty D, okay? On what? So here in this case difficulty D में क्या है? Look at this question. So we have the difficulty level here, right? So we can use it on difficulty level. So just copy this difficulty level. So कहाँ गया? On difficulty D पे join कर रहा हूँ मैं. So basically I want it join on C dot difficulty level is equal to D dot difficulty level. Cool. So this is my entire from statement. So now by doing this, I have joined all the tables H, S, C, and D. So H is for hackers, S submissions, C challenges, difficulty D, right? So I have done it. So this is already done. So my from statement is sorted, right? So there's no issue in this. So now what about the where condition? So as I said, we have two conditions here. So we have the scores from difficulty and then difficulty level also. So basically difficulty का score चाहिए मुझे, right? And then submissions के भी score चाहिए. So basically, can I just say that filter condition where difficulty कहाँ से आ रहा है यार? So just नहीं एक second. Score मेरे पास कहाँ है? Difficulty में है and submissions में है, right? So basically on so okay, so difficulty में है and मेरे पास submissions. So S dot score, okay, S dot score is equal to D dot score. Cool. So S dot score is equal to D dot score, and also I just said difficulty level is also important, right? So because and then difficulty level is here and in difficulty. So challenges and difficulty में मेरे पास. So basically मेरे पास on कहाँ गया? Where C dot difficulty level is equal to D dot difficulty level. Cool. And this again. So these two has to be equally good at the same time, right? So there should be an AND condition in this. So these two has to be good all the time. Cool. So there's an AND condition between this. So this where is also sorted. Now group by. So group by hacker ID, right? So hacker ID कहाँ से आ रहा है मेरे पास? ये तो H table से आ रहा है. H dot hacker ID and name H dot name. Cool. So this is also sorted. Group by is also done. And then having okay, total submissions कहाँ से आ रहा है मेरे पास? Basically I have to count the number of submissions. If I just do a count of my hacker IDs also, that is also fine, because if I just do a group by on hacker ID and just count the same hacker ID again, so it will give me the number of submissions, like how many times the same hacker ID is getting repeated, right? That's again fine. So h dot hacker id is also fine here. Cool. So count of h dot hacker id और नहीं h dot hacker id नहीं, एक सेकंड, सबमिशंस में से hacker id निकालता हूँ, सबमिशंस का, बिकॉज hacker id तो रिपीटेड हैकर्स सबमिशंस में होगा, राइट राइट. So this will give an error. So s dot hacker id is greater than 1. Cool. This is also done. So order by, again, so order by same चीज़ यहाँ पे लिख देता हूँ, order by s dot hacker id here in my count. पे डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर पे हो जाएगा s dot hacker id, and then I have the hacker id for ascending otherwise. So this is going to be again s dot hacker id ascending. Cool. I think we have pretty much sorted. From is sorted, where is sorted, group by is sorted, having is sorted, order by is also sorted. Now I think I have only left with select. So select में क्या है यार, select में मेरे पास hacker id और name है, तो ये तो simple है ना. I think ये तो h से उठा सकता हूँ मैं, h dot hacker id, and then I have h dot name. This is also good. Cool. So I think this select is also sorted. Cool. Looks good to me. Any issues in this code, right? Just let me know. Let me just remove this and let's run this code. Looks good to me. This should be fine. Swapnil says, please repeat line number 47. Yeah, I think I just removed the earlier codes. Can you just tell me the updated line number? What is the issue, Swapnil? I'll try to repeat it. Okay, so wrong answer. Okay, what does it say? Unknown column difficulty level. Difficult level लिख दिया मैंने. अरे यार spelling mistake है. क्या है? कहाँ गया? अरे सही तो है, डिफिकल्ट लेवल है ना, सी में तो यही है. अच्छा, डी में है डिफिकल्टी लेवल. क्या यार समझ नहीं आ रहा मुझे, इसमें तो गलत स्पेलिंग लिख रखा है, ये टी लिखा रहा है, इसे डिफिकल्टी लेवल है ये. यार क्या है यार, एक बार वापस से कंपेयर कर लेते हैं यार. चैलेंजेस में क्या है, इसमें डिफिकल्टी लेवल है, चैलेंजेस में क्या है, चैलेंजेस में मेरे पास चैलेंज आईडी है, डिफिकल्टी लेवल. ठीक है, आई थिंक दिस इज गुड नाउ. लाइन नंबर 26 क्या बोला आपने, ये बोला. ओके ओके. सो काउंट बेसिकली बोल रहे हो क्या? सो काउंट में देखो क्या यार, अगर हम just try to think again. So I'm doing a group by on the hacker ID, right? So hacker ID को अगर मैं काउंट कर लूँ, अब देखो hacker ID दो जगह है मेरे पास. I have in the H table, so basically मैं hacker table जहाँ पे hacker ID is my primary key. So अगर मैं इसको काउंट कर लूँगा, so I'll be having the same answer, right? So basically one hacker ID per row, right? So I will not be having anything if I use h dot hacker ID, because in the H table hacker ID is the primary key, so I'll be having one record per hacker ID. So the number of records where the hacker ID is more is basically in the submissions. So here in the submissions, I'll be having more number of records, right? For each hacker. So that's where I've used S, not used H here for my submission. That's the reason. यार अगेन आई थिंक कुछ मैं मिस्टेक कर रहा हूँ. लाइन नंबर 3 अगेन डिफिकल्ट का ही प्रॉब्लम है. कहाँ यार, कुछ तो कहीं तो प्रॉब्लम है. डिफिकल्ट, ओहो यार, आई हेट दिस स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक्स. Okay, Girish says we can also match the difficulty levels while joining instead of where clause. Yeah, hi, yes, absolutely we can do that, Girish. That is also possible, yes. Again, as I said, multiple ways of joining the things, yeah. So it's like your way of doing things. It's totally fine. All the approaches are fine. No problem in that. That is also correct. Right, so now I think we have solved it. So your output, Philip and all that. So all the people are coming up here. Cool. Great, so we have solved this question. Simple ही है, मतलब it's just like we have to formulate it a bit. So again, don't get confused by these many multiple tables. Still, it's fine. It's okay to have multiple tables, but just the logic has to be good. Okay, so you have to find out the logical understanding of a problem statement. Right, ठीक है. So let's do one thing. Let's take a quick 5 minutes break, guys. So we have another stream coming up in 5 minutes. So that was already planned for 11:15. So we're already 15 minutes late. So we're gonna start it in next 5 minutes. So 11:35. So 11:30 is right now, right? So please do not wait on this stream. So I'll end this stream. So you please go to my playlist, SQL Master SQL playlist. So there's another stream coming up for L29. Okay, so the lecture 29 for HackerRank problems is I'll be going live on that another stream in next 5 minutes, right? So please do join that stream and do not wait on this stream. Okay, so this stream will be ended. I will not be going live on this stream anymore. Okay, so I'll end this stream and do join on the another stream. So we cannot extend it more than 1.5 hours on this, right? So we have to stick with the time. So I have to go live on the another stream. Okay, guys. So just take 5-10 minutes of break. So we'll come back on that another stream. So I'll be going live from 11:35. Okay, so on that other stream. So we'll solve 2-3 more questions from HackerRank. Great, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you there on the other stream. Thank you so much. Bye bye.